Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of September 2nd through September 8th. A couple of things going on in the sky this week that I mentioned in the general reading at length, including Mercury entering Virgo. What that means, Jupiter being semi-square to Chiron. There was a Chiron and Pluto transit also. And that may be it. That may be it. I'm not sure. Again, I talk about it in the general reading, but some of it may impact us in this area. That's why I like to mention it and why I like to post the general reading before I do the love reading so that everybody can know what's going on and how it may apply into their love lives. So anyway, I'm going to begin with the opening message from the Journey of Love Oracle by Alana Fairchild, Razuli, and Richard Cohn. A party of three. And I don't know, this was the bottom card, but I feel like I should use it. It's called The Bride Offers Herself. And again, if you saw the general reading, then you know crowning the union, or the two archetypes in the middle, was the Five of Cups. So that can be, I thought about that when I read this card, The Bride Offers Herself. I thought about that in terms of sacrifice and loss, and felt that I was supposed to read this one. So I'm not sure what the top card is yet or whether I'll read it. Let's go over. Let's begin with The Bride Offers Herself, card number 43. There is a sacred offering taking place, an offering of the divine feminine. She's offering herself to the mystery unfolding. This may manifest in a physical way in that a woman of great feminine wisdom is offering herself to you in friendship, love, spiritual companionship, or service in some way. This may manifest in a spiritual gift from the Divine Mother in the form of a life circumstance or a situation, whether it's immediately recognized or as a gift or not. To accept this offering as a bridegroom accepting his bride with love, reverence, and respect will bring good fortune. This oracle offers you a message. Accept what is being offered now. I think that's why I thought about using this card when I saw the Five of Cups in my head, because it's like not being happy with what you got, not wanting to accept the offer, being pessimistic and doubtful and going on about what you don't have rather than what you do. So that's what I saw and why I felt I needed to read this one. Accept what's being offered now, whether through challenge or an easing of the way forward. There's a gift of grace from the divine feminine reaching for you now. Allow her in and be blessed. This oracle also heralds a time of importance in relationships. You have been revealing yourself and not being afraid of who and what you are, sharing yourself in willingness to connect. Your vulnerability and your beauty is acknowledged, and it will attract the response that you need at this time, or at the perfect time and in a perfect way. Every bride shall have her bridegroom. How careful we must be close. How fragile we must feel. How sad not to be when someone is real. To say approach with caution when we already know that inside there's a likeness and experience goes slow. And I did not know that behind this card was the Lovers. It's upside down, but that may mean something too. The Lovers. But the top card was, card number 39 equals 3. Let the feminine lead the way. Maybe we should read this too. I'm not sure that I ever have. The feminine principle in you, whether you're a man or a woman, is the way forward in your life now. She is the principle of feeling and of surrender. She feels the intelligence of the divine guiding light in a way that the masculine principle cannot at this time. You may not see where you're going, therefore, but you can feel your way forward. Trust her. Let your mind go and let your senses lead you, becoming more exquisite and communicative. Be led by your heart. Don't worry if you don't know all the details yet or how it's going to work out. She knows the way. Let her lead. That energy came through in the general reading too. The masculine had the moon in his subconscious. The moon is feminine energy. And I spoke about how he doesn't know everything, that's going on around him. He doesn't know all the details, but he's still guided to move forward and to trust it, to surrender. So I guess I was meant to read this one too. This oracle brings confirmation to you that what you've been feeling or sensing, even without any logical physical evidence, is worth following up on. Trust your senses over your appearances. Talked about this last week. Who watched when I said, why let a picture distort or confuse what you already know, or deter you from what you already know in your heart, what your intuition has already told you, what the signs and the synchronicities have already told you. That's what this is saying. Trust your senses over appearances. Trust your intuition over your intellect. You're letting feminine wisdom guide you, and she will steer you in the best direction. My coming out is the freedom to be fully who I am, and the surrender to the divine essence, expressing through and around me. My coming out is the marriage of twin souls with my life partner, in gratitude, in love, unfolding as more than we could ever be on our own. All right, I think that was important too. That said, I'm going to do the masculine perspective this week with the Doreen Virtue Romance Angels, beginning with past life relationship. You've known each other before. Ooh. All right. Opening to separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon, but also meant to see. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Past life relationship and true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. I think that separation and express your love coming out sort of together is about, or is a special message to those in separation currently, that if you've been feeling a push to reach out, you absolutely should. And actually communication comes up too in the general reading. I was just thinking about before I did this reading, whether I might do like a pick a card as to who should make the call, the masculine and the feminine. I may do that. Separation again. It was upside down, so maybe we should take note of that, but time apart from the partner is on the horizon. I'll go one more. It's heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So we've seen communication and separation only during this shuffle. And boom, back to separation. Again, it was upside down. I just turned it upright. So I think that we should take note of that. And it's a current separation is what I was already feeling. And perhaps a separation that is coming to an end this week. And that's why we've seen it 3 times already. Overall energy is codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. That separation for some may be from somebody else, from somebody with whom you are in some sort of toxic situation, or separation from something or some place that is toxic for you. You may need to walk away from something. As a matter of fact, that reminds me, I didn't do the dice. Let's see what they say. Beginning with 29, okay, spiritual partnership. No. So any no or yes or no questions. And weekend away. Spirit says stay in bed. Cocktail. And try again. This could be trying again as it relates to the cards, to break away from an addiction. And as it relates to the other dice, I'm seeing a couple things actually. Well, with the cocktail, it can be like like some sort of partnership or discussion or whatever, like over drinks. is what I'm seeing. And with the stay in bed, it, you know, maybe something turns out really well, and it's not just you staying in bed. It's a couple. If maybe something didn't go right the last time, you're guided to, again, try again. Maybe have a conversation over drinks. You may end up together. Answer to the yes or no questions, however, is still no. So codependency, addictions are affecting your romantic life. I'm just open to this dawn separation again. I don't know why, because I already have the overall energy. This is it. But I guess it supports what I was feeling just now in that moment, which is what stopped me and prompted me to go to the dice, is that some of this separation, again, is from people, places, and things that are toxic to you. They have nothing to do with the divine partnership. It's an external relationship or situation that you need to walk away from. Divine feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine this week. Himself, the union as a whole. Overall, the masculine will have the feminine do, surrender, contribute toward the union, what he himself is willing to. The universe would have the two do. It will help you with it if you affirm first to do it yourself, and the outcome. This codependency, this codependency can also have to do with the energy of Capricorn, and that's one of the actually celestial events that goes on this week. Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, which is currently retrograde there, goes direct. I believe it was on the 6th of September. Goes direct. So that could be why this codependency is showing up too. There are 2 other planets currently in Capricorn as well. Mars, which had been retrograde but went direct last week, but it's still located at this time in Capricorn. It enters Aquarius again on September 11th. And Pluto, one of Scorpio's rulers, also retrograde at this time in Capricorn. So that's another reason for this. But when I picked it up, what it wanted us to see was reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So they may be separating from someone else or from something else that's been preventing them from being with you. And now they're coming back. Yeah, I mean, whenever I see reconciliation at the same time as separation, you know, they sort of cancel each other out, and it's a reminder that separation isn't even real. You know, it's like it's an illusion. So reconciliation on its way to some, and it will be worth waiting for. That's the card behind this one. All right, so divine feminine this week. Higher self wanting us to know this could be the one. So some of us may be determining, do I move closer to him? Do I move away from him or her? This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner that you seek, divine feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, it's like about the feminine. Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So he's in that process. That would be him. Coming into this of exactly what is he trying to manifest with the feminine. About himself as it relates to the feminine, soulmate. So seeing himself in this role. Yes, this is your soulmate. This one, the one that could be the one that says you could be the one that you're going to do something with very soon. Yeah, that's who it is. And the union as a whole, boom. Wedding, I'd say sacred, right? Sacred marriage is what this is representing. There's no sacred marriage card in this deck. But this situation involves marriage. Boom. Overall. Release your ex, though. What'd I just say? Somebody you got to separate from that's been blocking you from this. For others, this is about expression, and you have not communicated. Okay, then you got to do that. The Venus, Mercury rather, in Virgo, which it rules, that enters this week, I think also on the 6th, talk about it in the general, that should help you with your expression. It's like the most favorable placement for Mercury. The time has come to clear your energy. Some of us are going to have to do that too, to exorcise, as in exorcism, not jumping jacks or anything. I mean, you can do those too, but I mean exercise, like release clear your demons, your energy, clean that, work on that this week as well. So 3 different possible meanings. For some, it's literal. Release your ex. There's somebody that's in the way. What would the masculine have the feminine do toward the union this week? Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So not being codependent on him to get through the week. There are others upon whom you can call, both on this plane and, of course, the spiritual realms. In whatever, you believe, you call on that energy. Ancestors, archangels, ascended masters, whatever is your thing. What is the masculine himself willing to do this week toward furthering the union? And that is trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. What the universe would have the 2 do, and you promise to do it, it's going to see that you do. It's going to help you. Boom. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Commit to it and you got it. You got it. But the faith is involved too. The trust, and you have to believe. And the outcome. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnerships. Actually following through with the guidance and doing what we've been shown we need to do. Now, from the perspective of the universe, beginning with young male. Young male could be your son, could be you, whether you're the masculine or the feminine, but, I do tie it closer to actual males. Young male. And fun times. So it could be about being youthful, getting out, having fun, being social, being youthful, courting man. This too about being social, going out. Dark male, which is my representation in this deck of the divine masculine. Courting male. And true gem, value, deservingness, worth, worthiness, longevity in the relationship. Also may involve an actual Gemini or other air sign. Courting man. Brunette female. This is my karmic female energy in this deck. So this may be from whom some of us need to walk away, from whom some of us need to separate. It may not be an actual person. Again, it could be an energy of a person, place, or thing that we need to get away from. Overall energy is courting man. Divine couple. Recent past. Masculine's higher self. Near future. Blocks to the union. The feminine can do. The masculine can do. Further advice from the universe. What it will help you to do. See that you do. If you affirm to do it. And the outcome. Divine couple. Children. So new beginnings. This is Empress energy. This is a fresh start. And there's a lot of new beginnings coming our way. This week may be the prelude to them, because really it's next week. There's so much new energy. And I'll give you a couple of examples. On 9/9, we have both Venus entering Scorpio. So new energy for Venus. She leaves Libra and enters Scorpio. And we have the new moon in Virgo, where Mercury, which rules Virgo, will be located at that time. We also have 2 days later, and that's a 9/11, by the way. It's 9911, which breaks down to 911, and which is of course 9/11 or 11. 2 days later, on 9/11 on the calendar, is both the Hebrew and the Islamic New Year. It's Rosh Hashanah and it's the Islamic New Year. In addition to that, Mars getting new energy, leaving the restrictive codependent energy of Capricorn and moving back into the freedom-seeking, humanitarian-loving energy of Aquarius. So new moon, new energy for Venus, new energy for Mars, new energy for Mercury, and 2 new years, spiritual new years, or the new year being recognized by 2 major religions, the Jewish faith and the Islamic faith. That's a lot of new energy. So that's from where this comes. I think we're moving toward that, but new beginnings on the horizon for us. And they probably began with the endings that we had last week with the Pisces full moon. Recent past, obstacles. See, this is what I was talking about, moving into that fresher energy, brand new beginnings with these gone. So this is what we've been dealing with. Near future, fun times. Okay, that's definitely the opposite of this. Masculine's higher self. Dating queen. Okay, well, we got energy of 3 here and energy of 3 here as well. Masculine's got 3 suitors. Perhaps he may be, one of the 2 archetypes, and it may be him in our relationship that has somebody, something, some place they need to leave, a combination of those in order to make things work. Maybe both of us. But this is where the masculine's higher self is at this time. This is also about, it's very 3 of fire for me. So it's also like abundance on its way in, but, not quite there yet, but you're in the midst of manifesting. We do see these 3 suitors here, though. So 3's a crowd. And that may be one of the obstacles. Like I mentioned in the other spread, somebody, something, some place, or a combination of those in the way. That's an obstacle. We do have an energy of 3, though, crossing an energy of 3. Just to be mindful of that. Other blocks to the union. Boom. It's this. This is what wants to draw you. So the way that it's a block, obviously it's not, this relationship isn't really a block, but it has been blocked, and it's a block to the rest of your life if you try to ignore it. So that's why it shows up here. So again, just as the other spread showed, and as I thought before I laid the other spread, something in the way that we got to move away from, that's leading us to this, that's clearing the path for this. Twin flame is certainly a block to your 3 suitors. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so boom. What the feminine can do here. Long distance, there's some separation. Maybe it's the feminine who needs to return, or to be accepting of a return. We have more of this energy of 3, party of 3 here. There's 3 sails on this ship that's coming in. But isn't that what I just said about the dating queen, though? That it gives me 3 of fire energy, like the ship you're waiting for your ships to come in. You're waiting for the abundance to come in. So here we have more of that. Also is indicative of a need for a fair amount of patience. Although I know for some of us, our patience has been like wearing thin for a long time. Fair amount of patience that, again, it is on its way in. But in the meantime, there's some stuff that has to be dealt with. So it's not quite here yet. Hold on, I'm coming. There's a song like that, I think. Yeah, there is. There's a song. Hold on, I'm coming. And that may be the theme here. What the masculine can do, freedom-seeking Aquarius, told you, when Mars gets in Aquarius next week, it's next week. This is a prelude to next week. When he seeks his freedom, when he pulls himself out of this situation and acknowledges that the obstacles, you know, have been lifted, or that he's able to push them out of the way to go after, you know, what's really awaiting him. This will, you know, many will feel their energy moving forward. But you should feel it already. So through this period, this week too. But yeah, again, this freedom comes around just next week, 9/11, when Mars enters Aquarius. Mars, the masculine planet of love. And what the universe would have the two do, or further advice from the universe, go after the new love, the new start, the new way. Again, this week, have all that energy of new. Also, next week, the same day that Mars enters Aquarius, we got plenty other new energy coming from all over the place. The celestial system, the spiritual realms, you know, the religious calendars, all of that. We'll take advantage of that new energy. And the new moon. So each of those events is something that initiates new, fresh energy, or that's associated with new, fresh energy. And the outcome. Well, flower, you're going to have to choose. Okay, this is where your free will comes in. Once all this happens, now the opportunity is put before you. This is where your free will kicks in and asks, are you going to sit it out like this? Let the opportunity pass you by? The opportunity for twin flame, or for freedom, for new love, let it pass you by? Or are you going to dance, engage, be active in your own life, and bring about your own abundance and your wants and desires? It's a choice. And I think this ties in also, it's bringing in the energy right now for me of our opening message too. Both of them, really. The let the feminine lead the way. Like let the feminine show the masculine how it's done, basically. I'm here waiting and having faith that we're about to enter the next phase. I'm at the 3 of fire. I need the 3 of wands. I just need the 4th one to come. I'm waiting here for it. You've got this 3 of fire energy surrounding you too. You can do the same or not. It's a choice. But, you know, if you want to let the feminine lead, sort of by example. Also, this gift that we're being brought is all this opportunity. From the first card, this gift that we're being brought is all this opportunity for new energy. That's what the goddess, the feminine, is presenting to us. Are we going to accept it or not? The card said accept it, right? It said when you're given this gift, accept it. But we still have free will to choose whether we will or not. So that will be on each individual. I'm going to do a regular spread now. I was in the mood to read reversals, so I'm using my Lover's Path Tarot, which is like a regular tarot deck, but with a theme of love and ancient Greek mythology. Beginning with the 2 of Cups upright. Opening to the 10 of Staves in reverse. So like having released these burdens, allowing them to fall away. Two of Cups. 4 of Coins upright. Sort of, there's a feeling of security there that's coming with that 4 of Coins upright. And like an awareness, a consciousness of being able being able to bring in abundance for yourself in all forms, including love. 2 of Cups. And the 3 of Cups in reverse. 3 of Cups in reverse can be about what's the word? Procrastination. It can be about procrastination and the need to get back on top of things. So there's been this period where we've been restricted, right? Because of the retrogrades, because of some of the other celestial energy and things that's been going on around us. And so when we are released from that, when the energy of freedom comes about, and when obstacles begin to be be removed. And when we're able to take action of our own accord, maybe like our ruling planet was one of the planets that was in retrograde, and we felt particularly stuck, especially those that were retrograde in Capricorn. Now we can take action, but in the meantime, there's been procrastination. So there's a need to, there's an awareness that we need to get back on top of things, get back to work, essentially. Three of Cups also in reverse can be somebody's walking away from some sort of party of three, perhaps involving a direct water sign. And it's opposite the Two of Cups upright, so that could very well be the case for some. Two of Cups and the Princess of Arrows in reverse. Princess of Swords, a Page of Swords. So information, pages bring news. There's information that's delayed too, that you may be awaiting in order to make a decision or in order to make your next move. Maybe you feel that you need this information first, and like until it comes, you really don't even know what to do. It can be about confusion, which ties into that, not knowing what to do, right? You're confused about what your next move should be. Also, this card comes up sometimes when somebody wants us, like, you know, they're like, they're trying to get something across to us, and we just like, it's like we don't get it. It's like we don't get it. And they're just like, you're not understanding what I'm trying to say. That could be what this is. And again, a direct, in this case, direct air sign could be involved. Two of Cups in the cut. Ten of Arrows upright. There could maybe betrayal, actual backstabbing, lies. It could be a breakup here with the Ten of Arrows too. And because we went through some of these things, like we learned something, we gained, right, wisdom from the experience that we went through here. And you know, so it's also a signifier of like growth to come, like, because it's a 10, so this energy is about to be expended, it's ending, and then the next step will be, the next energy that you would confront or that would face you would be the Ace of Swords upright. So coming to an end, but they might have been some betrayal. And that's why when the Ace of Swords comes, they say like getting to that point was difficult because you had to go through whatever this was first in order to reach the Ace of Swords. Overall energy is the Six of Staves upright. So victory, having done the work, putting in the work, taking action prior, defeating anything that got in your way, moving away any obstacles, having had the faith, you know, starting with the manifestation, then the faith to actually bring it to fruition. And then when you started to, you know, start to form with the Three of Wands, Three of Fire energy that we've been talking about, you know, you held on and you maintained a little bit of patience to wait for that four. Four came, you began to set your foundations. Maybe 5, there was some trouble. Maybe even drama. Could be somebody having been jealous of you, that you were making it that far and wanting to battle you for, you know, what was yours, basically. Compete against you for what was rightfully yours. And this is you as the victor, taking like your victory lap on a horse. Similar to Jesus did this. He went through on a donkey though. In the scriptures it says that. Yeah, victory. So that's a good way to start. Let's see what else we got. I'll probably turn over the cards first, and then like after I flip them all over, then I'll tell you what I mean, because I can be known to stop on every single card and explain it. I think I've been doing that already. But with the reversals and all this stuff, I want to try to get a picture of what's going on here. Crowning the masculine, it is illusion in reverse. This is the moon, so something may come to light. As a matter of fact, this is another reason why I should just go through them, because there are some of these major arcana cards that have little stories about them in the booklet, so I'll read those to you. But this is illusion is the moon, and it's in reverse. So something done in the dark may have come into light. You may be coming into some wisdom, some information. It could be intuitive messages as well, but you're better informed when the moon is in reverse. Surrounding the masculine, the Two of Coins also in reverse. So maybe a choice has been made, right, where we were indecisive before. We were juggling more than one thing. Maybe a choice has been made or soon to be made. Masculine subconscious, the King of Arrows upright. King of Arrows, when he's making a decision, if that's the case, or when something is coming out, he's very truthful, decisive, diplomatic. He's going to be fair about whatever this situation is. It may be a direct air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Crowning the feminine, it is the Princess or Page of Cups upright. So an offer of love is being made or received here. A message is coming in of love, maybe an email, a text, a phone call, some sort of communication. I talked about that before in the other spread. I said, and in the general, there's a need for some of us to communicate. Maybe I should go ahead and do that. Pick a card too. The Ten of Staves, again in reverse, so having been relieved of some of our burdens. Ten of Cups, also in reverse. This can be like feeling, I guess, like melancholy, I guess is, that's not really the word I'm looking for, but feeling like unimpressed and dissatisfied with your situation with life, but maybe not even knowing why, you know, because it looks good from the outside, like it should be good, but there's something that you're still not pleased about. I'm doing it. I'm reading every card. Force habit. Four of Arrows in reverse can also be indicative of a decision of some sort having been made, and it's crossing the Two of Coins, which can mean the same thing possibly. Seven of Coins in reverse. Somebody's impatient. And at the heart of the matter, it is Paolo and Francesca with Temptation or the Devil. Major Arcana card 15. This is that Capricorn energy we've been talking about throughout the reading. All right, the Devil represents the sign of Capricorn in the tarot. And that's another one I can read from the book for you. All right, let me take a peek at this. Okay. I think looking at these two together for starters, the Two of Coins. So let me show you that one again. It's the way it looks upright. It is in reverse, however. Opposite the Ten of Staves in reverse, Ten of Wands. And take into consideration some of the other stuff, that these are like feelings of being overwhelmed. Even if you have made a decision or in the process of making a decision or laying down your burdens, it still feels overwhelmed. And that's why the feminine is in this like a weird place where, again, everything looks good from the outside, the superficial, and she knows herself, you know, like, I should be feeling good. I don't know why I'm dissatisfied. I don't know why I'm not happy. And maybe because she desires to make this offer of love or to receive one, and nothing's happening there. So that may be the cause. Because with these two sitting, the Ten of Staves and the Ten of Cups sitting here, both in reverse, one atop the other. And this one particularly in her subconscious, so this one's in her mind. It's like really a feeling of, like I said, of dissatisfaction. That's the best word I can come up with. And just like not being impressed with what's going on. But there's no reason to not be when you're crowned by the Princess of Cups, who may be a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or making, again, an offer of love or something, or bringing some sort of news of something that's going to make you feel, you know, emotional. The masculine in a situation or a relationship that he knows he doesn't need to be in. King of Arrows upright in his subconscious is about, again, diplomacy, integrity, being truthful. The moon can be about deception and stuff. So that's like the completely opposite. Being crowned by the moon in reverse and rooted by the King of Arrows upright. He needs to take a step back. And this applies to us too, with the Four of Arrows here in the middle, feminine too. Needs to take a step back and like move away from whatever the situation is and look at it from a different vantage point. Like you're too close to the situation to make a real, a proper decision, a fully informed decision, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But your codependency or your ties to the temptation, right? Your feeling of being tempted and bound and whatever, that is in reverse would imply this is over. So now that that's over and like the chains have been loosened on you or whatever, the shackles have fallen off, you want everything to all of a sudden be right with the world. Understandably so. I mean, you know, I'm like that too. I'm an air sign. So this Seven of Coins shows up in reverse too, because now we're impatient. But there's a little bit more work left for us to do. Again, in both cases, there's a need to take a step back and look at your situation and give it a fair and like a legitimate evaluation. Also, there may be something going on specifically between an air sign and a water sign. Not necessarily that this is the masculine and this is the feminine. It could go either way. The water sign may be younger, or one may be younger than the other. The King of Arrows, the king implies that he's older. He's like at least like 35 or older. And the princess is like a more youthful energy. If not a younger person, maybe specifically a Pisces, especially opposite the moon, which also represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot. So let me give you also what this book would say about illusion and temptation, since those came up. Illusion. Keywords: fantasies, intuition, emotion, enchantment. Princess Odette, heroine of the popular ballet Swan Lake, was cursed by a sorcerer to remain a swan forever except at night. The only way her enchantment could be broken was by a vow of eternal love. However, if this vow were broken, even by chance, she would die. When Prince Ivan met her, he promised to love her and to return to claim her as his bride. But the sorcerer tricked Ivan, and he soon heard a heart-wrenching cry in the distance, the cry of a dying swan. Ivan ran to rescue Odette, but it was too late. Meanings, when it's upright, which it's not for us, enchanted by love, for better or worse, confused by illusions that may or may not be real, and intense emotions. The need to know what's real, what's fake. Reverse, delusion, which sounds like the same thing as when it's upright. Deception, yeah, same thing as upright. Discomfort with emotions or relationships. Okay, so that's what I saw and felt. There's a relationship or a situation or circumstance with the masculine that he's uncomfortable with. He's overwhelmed by it, or at least feels that way, and needs to take a look like a King of Arrows at it from a really fair vantage point, fair with himself, fair with all parties involved, and take a step back from it. But he's not tied to it anymore. He's not bound to it. Like, that's been cut. So he's in a better position to do it now. Also, It could be more literal, a connection to the book, in that this is the divine feminine here waiting for him to return, for him to come back, and he's still off doing whatever. And that's why she's feeling like I should be okay, because I'm otherwise fine, but I'm waiting for this offer of love, so I'm a little off. I'm not quite right. That's could be happening for some too. And temptation from the book. Temptation. Keywords: inner turmoil, obsession. Francesca de Polenta. Francesca de Polenta of Ravenna was married to Giovanni Malatesta to strengthen their family's political bonds. But there was one problem. Francesca loved Giovanni's brother, the handsome Paolo. Tempted by love, Francesca and Paolo's story could only end in sorrow. These true events inspired the poet Dante, who had a vision of Paolo tenderly embracing Francesca to protect her against the forces swirling about them in Hades. Dante retold their story in his Inferno, the first book of the Divine Comedy. Meanings: when it's upright, it means tempted by forces one cannot control, obsession in the form of envy, sensual desires, and the need to be controlling. But when it's reversed, freedom from temptation, experiencing the envy of others, and transforming a weakness into a strength. And that's definitely what it looks like the masculine will be doing. Again, the feminine by the masculine's failure to have come to rescue her thus far. So let's hope that he decides to get up and dance rather than sit it out. Our overall energy is that of victory. So it would appear that he does in the end. Further advice from the romance angels to the masculine: express your love. King of Arrows, perfect person to do that. Again, King of Arrows, as in Mercury, entering Virgo this week, what they said is his most loving or his best possible placement, and where he is going to be the most communicative. So perfect time for you to do that. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. She's waiting for this offer of love. She's waiting for the romantic gesture. Feminine. You deserve love. You are lovable. Maybe Jupiter brings it to you this week. Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius. Here comes the archer Cupid shooting his arrow towards you. You are lovable. Again, for information as to what exactly Jupiter is doing this week, go to the general. Masculine. We saw this throughout the reading. Triangle. You've got a choice to make. Here you're with three people again, just like your higher self had the three quarters. So you've got to pick, basically. That's why you're feeling overwhelmed and you want to do the right thing. You want to be diplomatic. There's some confusion, delusion, and whatnot going on here. But you'll get through it. You'll get through it. To the feminine from the hashtag creepy deck, gifts. Gifts. So again, our opening message was that the Divine Mother might be giving us a gift, and if we receive, we should accept it. There you go. Masculine, balance. You're feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling imbalanced. You're juggling too many things. Here comes the energy of temperance, basically, which represents the sign of Sagittarius, again, to Jupiter coming to the rescue in the tarot. Also, this is about air and water for me. And here we have, again, the King of Arrows, the Princess of Cups. I definitely see something going on between an air sign and a water sign. Maybe most specifically, at least as it relates to the water, a Pisces or a Scorpio with this Capricorn here. Again, Pluto and Mars having been retrograde in Capricorn, both of those rulers of Scorpio. Maybe the Scorpio or the Pisces is younger than the air sign. It's another card of sacred marriage. It is Moon Tree. So more of this Piscean energy coming through with the moon, maybe some Cancer. With the moon, Earth's moon at least, being the ruler of the sign of Cancer. But also attached to the energy of Scorpio again too. The moon is associated with water signs and intuitiveness and mystery, right? Things being done in the dark, coming to light. But this card more so about sacred marriage and union. And more of this air and water, right? You see it blue and white and blue and white. Here is the Five of Staves, which can be about taking action for one thing from a positive perspective, because it tends to be like very by any means necessary for me, like Mars type of aggression and action, but also about competitiveness. And I think we just read that also with the Temptation card in reverse, that it can be about people being envious of you, competing goals, we're after the same thing, or I'm after what you want because I'm going to ruin your happiness, right? Misery loves company. I don't like that you're doing well, that you're thriving. And so that could be coming up. There could be some drama for the masculine this week, and maybe that drama might be with close friends and or family members, including spouses, exes, boyfriends, girlfriends. Those I include as family members, and can certainly be with relation to you walking away from them. That can be what this is reflecting. But again, by the time we reached the overall energy, we had progressed to the Six of Staves. So, and victory. But when I picked this up just now, I did not know the Tower was behind it upright. The Tower also has energy of the sign of Scorpio for me, and is about, in this deck, it's pretty brutal. But for me, otherwise, in general, it's a neutral energy. It can go either way. I mean, there's good towers, there's bad towers. Something comes crashing down and gives way to new, sort of like Lord Shiva, the destroyer, right? He comes through, he knocks everything down so that we can start all over again, fresh and new. So after the victory, new beginning, basically, is what I'm seeing with these two cards back to back. So you'll get there, masculine. And lastly, for the feminine from this deck, it is the Prince of Staves. So the Knight of Wands, basically, but he's in reverse. And the Knight of Wands in reverse fits with what we got going on here already, because it can be about like just you're just like being all over the place, like in a state of perpetual state of like confusion, like who am I, where am I, why am I, you know, I don't know what I want, I don't know why I'm not happy, I don't know how to manifest my desires into my reality, I got to figure that out. That's kind of like what the Prince of Staves in reverse says. So that's on what we should be working. But I think, again, that the gifts that we are receiving from the universe this week should help us to do that rather quickly. Figure out what we want and how to get it. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this week's love reading. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you actually like the video, like clicking on the button. If you subscribe to the video and you want to actually, in addition, receive notifications, because for whatever reason, that's a two-step process with YouTube. You have to first click on the subscribe button and then click on the bell button so that you will be notified when I put up a new video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. I'll be back with something else. I might do that, pick a card. Namaste.